On today's episode, what's up everyone? All 50 of you that watch my channel. This week, I'll start welding pieces of sheet metal on this car. But first, I've got to learn how to use that welding machine. And nothing can blow up. But before we start, here's a word from my sponsor. Okay, let's start. So the first thing I have to do is prepare a program for the Cybertruck sheet metal to be cut up. It can't be done by hand because that would never be straight. So I'm on my computer. Let's start. Ready, set, go. Gotta stop the music. Good. Let's order some metal. But also, I need to 3D print these special holders that will hold my metal together at the right angle. Each part takes at least 1 hour to print, and I'm gonna need a lot of parts, so better start now. Alright, today's the day. I received my shipment of steel plates. There's a total of 5 of them. Check this out. They're 2.5 by 1.2 meters. Seeing it in person, it's actually pretty thick. I didn't know 1.2 millimeters was this thick. Now, what I'm gonna do is load these up into my van and transport them to the place where they'll be cut up using laser. Only one problem, I kind of underestimated how heavy they are. And they also barely fit into my van. Let me show you. All right, let's go. I dropped off the metal and now I'll wait. All right, it's been a little over a week and I just got the word that the metal has been cut, so I'm gonna go and pick it up. So let's go. So I revved up my Mercedes, put on the latest cassette, Best Hits of Eastern Europe 2021. And then when I got to the warehouse, I was ecstatic. The drawings I made on my computer were turned to real-life metal pieces. And it only cost me about $220, which is about $1 per meter. I'm loaded up. Let's go pay for this thing and time to start welding. But can I weld? This will literally be my first time welding, so I did what I always do, watch YouTube tutorials. Okay, so this regulator that came with my welding machine is bad. Gotta get another one. Alright, new regulator. Looks like this. Alright, so I bought this. Let's see if it'll be any better. Test number 1. Or maybe my technique is just shit. Test number 50. I can weld. Stop! Alright, more problems. Remember those 3D parts I told you about? The ones I would use to know precisely at what angle to weld? Well, look, the angle doesn't match at all. But the weird thing is, the metal pieces match onto themselves. And in the end, it's more important for the metal pieces to match. Initially, I wanted to weld those pieces separately and then put them on the car. But I'm running a risk here because then I could find out nothing matches when putting the car together. So I have to be really careful here. So what I've decided is to just go for it. Weld all the pieces directly on the car, even at the expense that the angles will not be 100% accurate, but I'll do my best. I decided to start with the hood of the car and then work my way backwards. Also, remember how I promised to weld on this episode? Tough luck. Tape will have to do because it's cheaper, which by the way reminds me, I hope you've already subscribed if you want to see more tape. This part is supposed to line up with the hood of the car like this, but instead it lines up like this. So what am I gonna do? Yup, I taped it again. And it's already looking a lot better. Now what I have to do is line up all the panels and get a rough idea of how I'm going to build this thing. For anyone wondering why they made the Cybertruck smaller, a lot of people were angry that the Cybertruck is not as big as it was originally unveiled. But look, so my Cybertruck is 1/2 meter shorter than the real one. Look where it starts. Here's where the door's gonna start, right? The door ends over here, goes back, and it hits the back wall. And this thing is just barely able to get out. Here I'm lining up the front wheel well, and this is me deluding myself into thinking that I'll find wheels big enough to fill that gap. That's it for another video. I'll be honest, editing took a lot more time than actual car work. There were a lot of late nights editing and my body aches as if I built a house or something. So I'm going to take some rest to get back on my feet, but I'm hoping to upload still as much as I can. But I also wanted to touch up on one thing. This channel has the word no money in it. Yet I have 2 3D printers, a welding machine, and a car to play around with. Well, here's how I do things. Most things I buy used. And the best way to buy used is to set up email notifications for when something good comes up. Those 3D printers, they cost $100 each. The welding machine, I actually bought that new because I had coupons. But it really took me a year to save up for that. And the first video I actually taped a long time ago. If you don't want to wait so long, you can always rent these things. I do it a lot. I think it's great. Saves a lot of money for things you don't need necessarily. Final words, stay healthy, watch my channel, and see you next time.